Before I start this video, I want to let y'all know, please respect the speed of these cars. Make sure you're not on your phone, being distracted by your friends in the car. And please do not be under the influence. People are really losing their lives out here. It's okay to like speed, but you gotta respect it. Leave it to the professionals on these tracks. If you want to go to the drag racing track or these autocrosses and stuff like that, have at it. Still be safe. But please, on these main roads that everyday drivers are using, it is not for us to be sitting here. I love racing. I do. I love the Fast and the Furious. I love the Need for Speeds. I love them all. But those are movies. People are getting hurt out here. And we just need to really take into consideration the lives that have been lost due to just being careless on these streets with these cars. And remember, these cars is nothing but fiberglass now. They're not even metal like the old days. So come on, y'all. Just be smart. Drive smart. Now into this video. NASCAR this past weekend was at the Monster Mile. My first race, as you can see, I got him over there. Monster Mile guy over there. Yeah, right up there. Yeah. That was my first NASCAR race I've ever been to, which was 2 years ago. I know, crazy, right? Let's get into it. We're going to talk about Cup Series, but we're going to get to Xfinity. Xfinity, to me, was the highlight of this past weekend. Carson, I don't want to say his last name, begins with a K, I might say it wrong. So I don't want to say it wrong. This guy who drove JRM number 88 car, for this to be his second time on being in Xfinity series, the man almost brought it home. Sheldon Creed almost brought it home. Cole Custer almost brought it. Oh, anybody mad? I know Cole Custer feels some type of way. It was 40 laps to go in the race, right? What happens? Rain. Cole Custer and his team like, yes, rain. But by it being rain, they thinking, okay, red flag comes out, which it does. Cole Custer is leading. So his team, they not showing up the pit. Are they going to tell everybody come in, put the little tarps over it? We don't know yet. But you know, Cole Custer's like, man, I can barely see out here. Which is smart. Every race says the broadcast said, yeah, you want to say it's pouring. So they can call the race. But so it starts raining, a little drizzle. Then it starts picking up. So they open up pit road. So Cole Custer's trying to decide, should he go, not go? Some people go. So when Cole Custer's team tells him late to go, he can't because he already passing pit road. So he has to come back around. And then they let them go green again, which Cole Custer's team didn't think they would because they were pacing some laps, trying to see if the rain was going to let up. And it did let up. Cole Custer goes from first and probably was going to win the race on a rain delay to about 8th. Now he's got to come back through the field. So it's only a few, like probably 12 laps to go. Something. They're going. Who's up there? Carson. Carson K is like right up there in the mix. He's in the front. Him and Austin Hill. They take off. Austin Hill tries to get to right up in there. The air. He didn't really like Carson to do nothing. He did what he was supposed to do. He held his line. You know, he racing for a win. Austin Hill got loose and spinned around. What happens then? Ryan Truex is right there in the mix. Now, mind you, this guy won last year. Him and his brother. They had the sibling thing, brotherly thing last year. Martin Truex Jr. won at Cup Series last year. Ryan Truex won Xfinity last year. So, they trying to do a repeat. So, next thing you know, Ryan Truex right up there in the mix. In the number 20 car, JGR, Joe Gibbs Racing. That number 20 is fast. So, they sitting there driving. And what do you know? So, Carson gets a good lump, but he has to let up, I think, because he had older tires. So, that took him out of being right there, and Ryan Truex was able to get past him. And after that white flag wave, you already know, because we're in NASCAR overtime, once that white flag wave, whatever flag is next, whether it's the checkered or whether it's the yellow for a caution. That's it. And what happens? There's a caution on the last lap. Ryan Truex, once again, he repeated a W for his team. So I know he was happy. His dad was there, so and I'm sure the brother was happy about that. So they got that done. And for Ryan Truex to only be, he's not even full-time right now. So that's definitely good for his team. But shout out to the Dash for Cash. Riley Herbst was in it, but he got in a real bad wreck. He was as messed up as, like, other people were. Like the number 8. And some other cars that got collected in that wreck. Because Riley Herbst would have took home the Dash for Cash. But Anthony Alfredo, who's with a small team this year, in the Dude Wipes car. Shout out to Fast Pasta. That 100,000, I'm sure, helped his team a lot. Especially being a small team. I mean, 100,000 help anybody. I don't care who you are. 100,000 won't help you. But for especially in racing with small teams, small sponsorships, yes, that money can be funneled in to continue to help, for the rest of the year. So that's a good thing. Shout out to him getting the top 10 and getting that Dash for Cash. So here we go. On the Cup Series, to me, wasn't that fun of a race. And I guess now I'm glad I've seen it. I've seen it up close, like been there at the track. I now understand why it's kind of boring. I mean, I had fun the weekend last year when I went, and the weekend before that. I mean, the year before that I had fun. But the actual race is not a fun race. This concrete 1 mile track, everybody says the AERO-BLOCKING. Mr. Kyle Busch himself, he says and he took pole. He had the pole. But the AERO-BLOCK stopped him, that dirty air. But from what some people say, this has been going on since like the 4th generation car in the 90s. The only difference is it was better then because the cars were made different. But now, we as fans, we want to see cars that are in a showroom somewhere. We want to feel like we could go out here and drive a Toyota XSE, or you have the new Camaro or the Dark Horse Mustang that you can race. So we want to feel like that. And that is why these cars this next gen car looks the way it does. It looks like a car you could race on the street. But that sleek design that we love, the aerodynamic part is hurting us on the track. So this is a big issue. It's been an issue. And at these tracks like this, what are they going to do? So what does Kyle Larson say? Hey, I think they should take out the mirror so Denny Hamlin can't block me by mirror driving to have dirty air so I can't pass him for the win. Now, Landon Castle even said one further. I think spotters should only... Granted, he said he loves spotters, but he said he felt, hey, how about we only use them for safety reasons? But I think that's a lot different. I mean, the dynamic, it's just like trying to understand what's going to work. Of course, you need a spotter. Spotter helps with strategy. Depending on how good your spotter is, can also make you a champion, make you a winner. So all that matters. So, I mean, obviously, I think obviously, they're going to keep the spotters. They ain't just going to be for safety. But at the same sense, how do we fix the problem, NASCAR? How do you give fans what they want and give drivers what they want? Is it possible that the two can meet together, fans and drivers, to make a great race? I don't know. At these type of tracks where dirty air is a big thing, and granted, like I said, Kyle Busch had pole, but when you have cautions and stuff, you get shifted in the pack through whatever. Things happen. Pit strategy comes into play, all of that. And it's like, yeah, you qualify great, but you never know where you're going to end up when a caution comes out. So, and Kyle Larson felt like he couldn't pass Denny because of the AERO-BLOCKING, which Kyle Larson said, yes, it's very easy to AERO-BLOCK in these cars and stop a person from getting you because of the way the cars are made and with the dirty air. Same thing where Kyle Busch felt like Martin Truex Jr. He felt he was faster than Martin Truex Jr., but the AERO-BLOCKING So how many times is aero blocking going to be mentioned? It's been here. We're talking about, what, 30 years from what they say? Since the 90s? Almost 30 years? So if we're doing that, it's just going to be around. Like, is there something that everybody as a whole has to accept? Or is NASCAR willing to figure out how can we come to these manufacturers and figure something out and give the fans what they want and give the drivers what they want? Somebody going to be upset. I don't know if it's possible. The drivers are the one driving the cars. They're trying to win because they got families to feed too. We want excitement in these races. We want more horsepower. I don't know if that's going to fix the problem. They said tires. The different tires they're about to try out. That might fix the problem. Who knows? We got some problems we got to fix, though. Guess we'll figure it out. But on to Kansas Speedway. And who has won the last few races? 2311. Tyler Reddick won. Bubba Wallace won. They've done pretty well the last 5 races at Kansas. I think they won about 4 of the last 5. So we're going to see what they do. So I just hope Bubba is not in his head because he performs well at this track. His team performs well at this track. They have a great setup for this track. So hope to see it come this weekend. You know, and shout out to Kyle Busch for, this is his first top 5 this season, I think. And now, granted, he be killing it in the trucks. It's just with this car and RCR, it ain't been great to him this year. But he's got a top 5 from this past week. So we're going to see what they do. Hopefully this is a turnaround for him. He got some stage points that helps him out. But y'all know what I said. Please be careful out here on these roads. Leave the driving, erratic, all that to the professionals. Y'all stay safe and keep that go smack mentality. Smack like that!